In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why God has to exist. We can start by having you take a look around. Now, what do you see? You probably see a bunch of stuff. Okay, now think about that stuff. And it doesn't matter what kind of stuff you're looking at, this will work fine for anything that you can see. Now, I want you to ask yourself, did all of that stuff exist 50 years ago? Or 100 years ago? Or how about 1,000 years ago? Better yet, you could just ask yourself, was there a time when what you see now did not exist at some point in the past? Everything that you can see, whether it be your phone, your couch, your dog, your house, a tree, the moon, the sun, the earth beneath your feet, it really doesn't matter. Everything that you can see didn't exist at some point, and the only reason that it exists now is because something caused it to start existing at some point in the past. Now pick out just one thing out of all that stuff that you can see, and let's call that thing 1. If I were to ask you why thing 1 exists, you'd point to other things. Now to keep it simple, out of those things, let's just consider one of them, and let's call that thing 2. Thing 2 came into existence because thing 3 exists, and thing 3 came into existence because of thing 4, and so on. Okay, now hold that thought for a moment, and let's move from thinking about existence to the color red. Picture a red flower. Now there's a reason why that flower is red. The flower didn't have to be red. The flower could have been yellow, the flower could have been white, the flower could have been purple, but instead it's red. The redness of the flower came from something else that gave it its redness. If something didn't give the flower its redness, then the flower wouldn't have been red. Now the important thing to remember is that the flower itself is not the same thing as redness. Now it has redness, but it's not redness itself. Back to existence. Existence is kind of like the color red. Existence is something that the flower has, but the flower itself is not the same thing as existence. It only has existence because something else gave it existence. The flower wouldn't exist unless it got its existence from thing 2. And thing 2 wouldn't exist unless it got its existence from thing 3. And thing 3 wouldn't exist unless it got its existence from thing 4, and this goes on and on. This is not only true for the flower, but this is true for every single thing that you can see right now. All of the stuff that exists will eventually trace back all the way until we get to a final point that we can call the OE. No, not that OE. OE as in original existence. Okay, better yet, let's just call it thing Z. Thing Z would be the starting point and the ultimate reason for why anything at all began to exist, or why anything exists right now. Now this leads to the next question. If the reason why anything exists is because it got its existence from something else, then what's the reason that thing Z exists? In the case of thing Z, things are a little bit different because unlike everything else, we don't have anything else to point to because thing Z is the first thing to exist. Remember OE, original existence? In other words, you can't point to something that doesn't exist in order to show why thing Z exists, because obviously that doesn't make any sense. Because thing Z didn't get its existence from anything else, then thing Z had to always have existed. So it would be impossible for anything to threaten its existence or to take it out of existence. In other words, thing Z is eternal. Thing Z would not have existence, thing Z would be existence. So what could thing Z be? Well, it can't be anything physical because anything physical would have either began to exist or it's possible for it to stop existing at some point. And because it isn't physical, it also would have to be beyond physical space. Similarly, it would never have begun to exist and therefore it would have to be beyond time as well. So in other words, thing Z would have to be an eternal, non-physical, uncaused creator that's responsible for the beginning of all time and all space, and also responsible for everything that did exist, everything that exists now, and everything that will exist in the future. Does thing Z sound like someone that you've heard about? Some people call him God. Well, if so, it's important for you to know that he exists, always have and always will. Oh, and wait until you hear about his son, but I'll save that for another video. So make sure you subscribe because wait until you see what else I got coming. So it's the next time someone asks you the objection, well, who created God? What are you gonna say? What do you mean?